What does it mean to exercise your faith? Well, in Numbers chapter 13, we learn that God told Moses to send 12 spies to explore the land of Canaan, which he had intended to give to the Israelites. At the end of 40 days, 10 of the 12 spies returned to Moses with a mixed report. The spies led with the good news. They said, the land of Canaan is flowing with milk and honey, and shared the ripe fruit that they had taken from the land. Then they shared what they perceived to be the bad news. They said, there are powerful and strong people in the land, and so we don't stand a chance of possessing it, so we shouldn't even bother going for it. Caleb, one of the 12 spies, had faith in God's promise, as did Joshua. And so Caleb silenced the spies' negativity and professed that the Israelites will possess the land. But what the other spies saw in the land of Canaan discouraged them so much that they even told all of the other Israelites how bad the land was that God had promised. I want to talk to you briefly about the spies. By faith and in obedience, they explored the land of Canaan as was instructed by Moses. But most of their outlooks were shaken by what they saw. Their faith was swayed by what was in front of them. God had recently delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt and wanted to bless them with land for their obedience to God. God's purpose for sending the spies was not for the spies to go investigate their competitors. He wasn't even trying to warn them about how dangerous obtaining the land would be. Instead, God's purpose for sending the spies was to show his people the beautiful blessing that awaited them. Sometimes one's perspective can hinder them from exercising their faith. For example, every morning, or just about every morning before leaving for work, I generally check the weather report so I can see how to dress for the day. Sometimes sunshine is projected for the day, yet it is dark and gloomy in the morning. If I had failed to have faith in the weather report, I wouldn't appropriately dress for what is to come. I'd waste time bundling up in a sweater, jacket, and boots because of what I currently perceive, instead of believing that the sun is going to shine later in the day. Just because your current situation may appear bleak, that excess baggage that you acquire by being negative and packing on things that aren't necessary will hinder you from enjoying the sun, Jesus that is, shining in your life. The Israelites saw the status of their promised land and were discouraged by its condition. And so their faith in God's promise was shaken. God's vantage point is such that he knows the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. He is all-knowing and ever-present. He transcends time and space, and he never makes a mistake. So going back to my example, in the morning time, I may be a little cold, but if I can just hang on to my faith and believe that the sunshine is coming, I will be just fine. So I encourage you to hold on to God's promises in spite of your current condition and in spite of what you may see. I will leave you with Galatians 6:9 that says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up.